So I want to talk about frame data, evade canceling in Revo, and what skills we've lost and what skills we can gain in this game now with a stronger striking system. So in broad strokes, evade is now canceled on frame 13 instead of frame 10. You cannot duck half circulars as reliably at small disadvantage anymore. It in many ways like half circulars are a binary answer to evading. Full circulars are a bit slower on average, but there are some 16 to 17 frame ones which will hit these small advantages. So evading is a lot less strong and it's a lot more risky. But if you look at the changes they made across this patch, you'll see that a lot of moves got recovery added on. Most notably eye poke moves, Jackie 6p plus K, Kage 1p plus K. I'll throw some videos on screen showing the difference. But a lot of moves got less safe, and if you even go back before this patch, you can see that in Revo, a lot of characters got really good side turn punishment. Eileen, P3P, 214K plus G, John with his 66P plus K, Brad with his 6P and his slipping on crouching and counter hit. That's a very strong punish. In general, yeah. A lot of characters got strong punishment, especially on side turn. Lao in this patch got P plus K. It's a side crumple now. It's very strong. So we can see a direction of evade is going to high risk, high reward. And I think it's always been like that. I consider evade an Abare option. You're choosing to not block, you're choosing to leave yourself open and potentially get damage on their strike. And it often loses to the same things that blocking loses to. Throws, catch throws, lows. Full circular lows are very common. Circular lows are super common. So they're just moving in a more high risk, high reward direction for evades with the changes they did to recovery and side turn punishment. I want to go over some common complaints with these changes. A lot of people say that there's more guessing now and your options are restricted. I do think there is more guessing if you choose to evade, but evade was always a guess. As I said, I think evade is closer to a Abare than a defensive option. Evading left you open to throws on small advantage. So if you're at small advantage, the moral choice is to fuzzy, right? You would fuzzy guard, and immediate throw would not hurt you, or not. You duck under it, and if you have quick reactions or you're doing the option select, you can punish it. Now, fuzzy guard is still really strong, but um, you have more options to beat evade at those small advantages than throw. So striking is really strong at these advantages now. But fuzzy guard still beats strike. Guard beats strike in the VF system because it gives you plus frames. It gives you advantage, and that is winning the interaction. And now you can force your reads from blocking their circular or go into deeper mind games if they have a string. But yes, if you choose to evade at small disadvantage, you are guessing more because you have to guess the right way. You cannot choose a direction that you can't be hurt from if you evade and you like they need to throw. Like before, I'll throw a video of Brad. So Brad had six hold 6K. That was probably one of the strongest half circulars in the game, damage wise, firepower wise, to his front, and 4P to his back. So if you were at like +5, if you're at +5, and you evaded towards Brad's front, you could ECD his 6 hold K, but you could get hit by his 4P. So knowing when you could evade to his front was a very valuable skill in the Brad matchup. And that is a skill we lost. And I do understand why people who developed that skill would be upset that it's gone now. I do think it was a valuable skill in FS, and it was something that is gone now. And you can't flex that skill. That is sad. And I understand why people miss it. As a consequence of evade being so much longer, delays are super, super strong. You have so much more time to do like evade high launcher like Akira 46P, like Lao or Go or Brad 6P plus K. Those moves are really strong now. You have a lot of time to hit their EDC, not their ECD. They can duck it, but even like Sarah, Like this move is crazy now. This is just a punish. She's delaying. I can't even EDC that. It's a 16 frame launcher. That is a really insane thing to have. But evade comes with its own really big risks, and even like delay jab, you can 2P that. You can do your own jab. Um, you can do so much when they go on to delay timing, and delay timing is really like the MO of FS. I think that when you're fuzzying, what do they have to do to beat it? They have a few instant timing options. They can like do a low or do a catch throw or do a guard break. But if you look at those options, they catch throws are really slow. Lows are often really slow. Um, and guard breaks are all highs except a few, but those are really slow. So when you fuzzy, you're essentially forcing them into something exploitable. And like another, like most of your options against fuzzy are delay timing. Like you're gonna do like delay throw. That's the universal answer. So fuzzy in essence is like it's the mechanic of FS, and it's forcing them onto delay timing to attack you. Now you're forcing them onto delay timing to attack your evade directly, which was always a thing, but now it's really really strong. But I don't think that's not like a hard yes. That's a really deep and exciting situation. I think it's not that much different than the rest of the game. Like as Blaze, I can do this to Oki or whatever. Um, I can do like whatever I want. I can do. I think it'll beat my 6P plus K, yeah, but or K plus G. But I can match their speed, and since they're at 0 or -1 when they're delaying, or worse, then yeah, I can take my turn, or I can just keep blocking. I get plus frames because the delay isn't that much like it's not that much different of a time of a timing. So if I'm already blocking it minus, I can yeah, I can punish whatever they do. Or if they just do a normal strike, I can get my frame advantage and I won the interaction. So I think there's just as much counterplay as there always was, but you have a little more firepower if it does work out. Basically, what I'm trying to say is ECD at low advantage is a lot worse. Um, it's a lot more of a guess if you're choosing to evade, but as I said, evade was already a guess, and I don't think evade should be safe. In Virtua Fighter, it's a failed evade that you're getting when they delay or they do a circular the right way. If you don't guess right, you should be punished. This game is about guessing. It's about it's like it's kind of like poker. You're choosing when to guess and which ways to guess and how to weigh the dice in your favor and bluff on your opponent and be a step ahead. So if you're not a step ahead, if they're a step ahead, they're like, oh, I know this guy's gonna evade to my back because he's scared of my front full half circular. And I think they should be able to get reward from that. I think that's a good thing. I think it matches the philosophy of the rest of the game. I don't think it's bad. And this is a little more controversial and a little um, informed by my own playstyle. I really like striking. I do not like throwing in this game. It's very strong. You have to throw. You have to throw to win. But even now, but I love striking. I play John. I want to play spacing games. I want to strike. I want to be safe. I want to force you into strike mix-ups. I don't want to force you into mid or throw. It's too volatile. It's too just don't like the feeling of throwing that much. So striking it will lead to a faster game, I think at least. I please leave any disagreements. I'm not coming from a place of authority. I'm pretty bad at this game, but I think striking will lead to a game with less guessing in ways. So if you look at every strike in the game, they have weaknesses. They all have weaknesses. So, elbows are really fast mid. It's great. It's such a good move. It's the best move in your arsenal. But even evade has a weakness. It's a punch. If you have a punch sabaki, you can beat it. At +2, it's going to be -11. So you can do a throw. You can do Gyakunage. That's something you can do good as elbow. But elbow is a move without a ton of weaknesses. But look at circulars. That's a high. It's a high. I can 2P it. It's 60 frames. It doesn't frame trap here. It'll frame trap here. Oh, yeah, it'll frame trap here, but it won't frame trap from +2. It won't frame trap from anything below +4. It's a high. I can 2P it. I can low crush it in any way I want. And the rare mid house circulars like Akira, Akira's 4-6P plus K or 4-6P plus K plus G, those are really weak because they're 19 frames. Yeah, they're supposed to in FS they were 19 frames because they had to hit your EDC and Nitaku, the +6 exactly and up. But they're 19 frames. Even if you did it at like at these advantages, you could just hit them out of it. They're really slow. So every move has a weakness. All your circulars, they're gonna be high. If you have a mid circular, it's gonna be minus on block, or it's gonna be really, really slow. Um, like a mid full circular. A mid half circular is gonna be slow. I don't think there's any fast ones. Vanessa 6P is good. Like DS 6P is a mid half circular I can think of that's really good. But the derivatives from that are not like the strongest in the game. Um, they're like that is a kind of exceptional button, but she doesn't even have a 14 frame mid, so it's understandable that like she would have that. And Shun kind of has that with his K plus She. He also doesn't have an elbow. But there are rule breakers, but for the most part, every single move has a weakness that's not just like evading the right way or guessing right. You can exploit the fact that it's a high, that it's a punch. Um, there's so much counterplay in this game. It's unbelievable. Even with these changes, the game stands up on its own, and I don't think it's a huge deal that evade is 3 frames slower. You'll have to use options like fuzzy at +5. You'll have to use options like hard duck to duck a circular. Small bare. Small bare is going to be a lot stronger because, as I said, a lot of circulars, the highs are slow. And you'll have to go on to timing mix-ups as the attacker to beat those things. Like, or you'll have to do something predictable. Like if they're 2Ping, you're gonna have to do a normal mid. You're gonna have to do elbow. You're gonna have to do counter hit launcher. Those are all have weaknesses. And counter hit launcher loses to evade. So circular mix-ups. It's how the game works. It's how it's always going to work. Because how FS is designed. And less throws happening means there's less force guessing. There's less like Nitaku situations, which I think the people complaining should like. I don't like. I like Nitaku. I think it's a really well balanced system, but it's I don't think it's as interesting as the small advantage game. And I think the small advantage game is just as interesting as it was before, maybe even more. So there's if throw is less strong, striking is more strong, and you have more holes in their game plan. Before, if you knew they were gonna throw, you just launch. That's a forced guess. Not a forced guess, but that's hard guessing. You're hard gambling. I think people think they want less of that. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'm not sure. But I think people complain when they see more guessing. I think this will lead to less guessing overall because striking has more holes and more counterplay. Because as I said, you can pick smaller bare, you can guard. If you guard, you're gonna gain frame advantage. If you duck a high half circular, you're gonna get a punish, or you can guess on if they're gonna follow up on a string or not. That's how this game works. And all these mind games were happening before, but they shifted the decision space to away from throwing, away from um, ECD and safety, and now you have to. If you're evading, you're committing more. I don't think that's a bad thing. And I think it has fun implications already, and we need to be open minded about this patch. I do think there are some things that need to be changed, and they can fine tune a lot of this stuff. It's a huge change to do in such a small patch, but this is really a new direction for VF. Shiopon on his blog when this patch came out, he said that he compared this change to like Utori, LTE, guard throw escape getting added. Like I've met a lot of old VF players. They played in 4 and 5. They really love 4 and 5. But Final Showdown came out. MTE was gone. You had to guess on a throw. On it's very similar. Like now, if you're choosing to guard, you have to choose between 3 throw directions. Most likely, forward or back, because those are the really strong ones. Neutral is 40 damage for everyone. So it's kind of like whenever you're guarding, you're making that same two-way guess that you are when you're evading. So I think that it is kind of a similar change, and a lot of VF4 and 5 players, they left, and I've talked to them now. They realized, oh, FS was really good. FS was always really good. It's such a good game. It's my favorite game ever. I like this version too, and it might be just as good. It might be even better. I think we need to have an open mind, and I see a lot of people, they see that there's changes at all and they write it off because movement feels worse. It does feel worse. I mean, I think it should feel worse if you're failing an evade, like I said. But people feel that movement feels worse, and they can't ECD where they used to ECD, and they think there's less skill in the game. I don't agree. I think there's just as much skill before. I think the game is still really fun and good, and I hope people have an open mind. Um, Thanks for listening. Thank you for playing my game. Uh, this went on really long. What the fuck?